I got a crazy email when I was out, one step closer to the final. Boy, was I glad I did that. That's one way to lose them, especially in this market. I just don't know what's gonna happen. Hello and welcome back and welcome to another week in the life video of where I show what I do every single day and week working as a recruiter in the technology industry at my own recruiting agency. It is right now early afternoon on Tuesday. Spent most of my day yesterday, Monday, completely heads down and taking my first stab at the brand new chemical powertrain system engineering positions that we got from an exciting new clean tech company. If you've been watching any of my videos, you know that I don't do engineering. I don't specialize in engineering in these fields. We mainly do software engineering. But because I've been recruiting for many, many years, and because I love this client and I love the client who referred it, we're gonna put our best foot forward and do our best to see if we can also find any good people here. Spend definitely a lot of time on the weekends and on the side to learn more about these positions so I can have a basic contextual understanding to adequately and confidently talk to candidates. We'll see what happens. And I have a couple calls with a couple chemical engineers today, so definitely wish me luck. But aside from that, Tuesday is a packed day today. I have about 10 different calls, one client call in about an hour, as well as about 6, 7 different interviews. Really gonna shift gears and focus the rest of the week on product managers, product designers, digital marketing, and going back into software engineering. I spent just a little time on this chemical powertrain yesterday. I'm not gonna allocate too much of my time this week on that. We'll see how the responses go and we'll see if we need to calibrate, but I'm gonna focus on roles that are around our specialty, which is product design, digital marketing, and software engineering for our primary cohort of clients. I have about 3 more calls today. We still have about 5 more interviews. We had an interview earlier today with an engineer. I think that went well, fingers crossed. And in about 30 minutes, I have a client call talking directly to the founder of this California-based B2B SaaS startup that we picked up a couple weeks ago, where I can dive deep and really understand exactly what he's looking for. Up until now, I've been interfacing a lot with the recruiter, but the recruiter isn't 100% sure about this role. And so this is an opportunity for me to talk directly with the founder to understand, to go into his mind on what he's looking for. If we're aligned, then the better we know the profile that would make him happy and happy to chat with, and the better me and my team can stay targeted. But I'm excited. I'm actually feeling good. Energy is great. Drank a lot of matcha and looking forward to making this remainder of the week very, very productive. If you're excited as I am, you're having a good week and you need energy like I do every single day to be on your A game and be at peak performance, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and consider clicking that bell. Really means a lot and definitely energizes us to even work harder and just do the best that we can. Another quick update. So if you saw last week's video, you would know that we potentially have an offer with the CMO, Chief Marketing Officer. And if this goes through, this could potentially be my biggest deal to date as a recruiter, because we're looking at a salary from 250 to 300 plus. If you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, don't forget to go to the previous week or even start from the beginning. The issue here with this position is that I still haven't had a chance to connect with the candidate. Some candidates just prefer to handle everything by themselves. That's completely fine. I just hope that at least they would have a couple minutes in their schedule and just get back to us. Just text us or email us a couple words even, just to see how they're doing. But I honestly haven't heard anything. I am communicating directly with the founder of this company, who has a really great communication line with the candidate, so at least she's communicating with them. So as long as everything's going forward, everything's positive, as long as the company's doing an adequate job as well to sell her on the opportunity with every conversation and answering and addressing any concerns or obstacles, that's really all that matters. But if you've been watching, you know that for us, we love to just be hands-on. We're not recruiters who just talk to candidates and submit them and just hope for the best, kind of like a gambling or lottery scenario. We like to be with you every step of the way, because we know interviewing at the end of the day can be very, very stressful and lonely. And that's what we want to be there and provide that concierge 5-star service. So it's not ideal that we're not talking to our candidates this late in stages. I honestly think this is This is 50-50, it can go either way, but the founder thinks everything looks good, everything sounds good, so we'll see what happens there. I'm excited about this because obviously it could be very lucrative, but I'm not gonna keep my hopes up because I just don't know what's gonna happen. Quick update, so I just got off the phone with my first chemical engineer that I've ever spoken to my entire life, and wow, that was a very, very interesting conversation where I tried my best to retain and learn as much as she was telling me. But from the notes that the founder of this clean tech company gave to me, she definitely checks off all of the must-haves in terms of skills and tools and experience, from having ample experience with chemical reactions and even catalysts, and having even a doctorate degree. So on the surface, optically, she seems like she could be a great fit. My clean tech company ideally would love someone to relocate to New York. She's not that far, she's in Pennsylvania, so I think that even commuting is not gonna be an issue if she wanted to commute, but my company is also willing to help with the relo, even open to making this remote position, or if this person's really good, she can just work locally in the PA market. So they're really going out and providing all the stops to making our job the easiest in terms of finding the best person, attracting them, and then closing them if they are great. I'm still really excited about talking to my first chemical engineering. I think the whole chemical engineering field is super fascinating. My sweet spot, my experience is mainly in software engineering, but when it comes to chemical engineering, powertrain systems, even though I may not know it, it's something that I'm just personally fascinated in. And when you apply that to transportation or automobiles and cars, you know that they're the rock stars that make cars and trucks and transportation vehicles happen. So it's super, super cool to see and talk to folks behind the scenes on what they do and where they can provide value in creating amazing products that a lot of us just take for granted. So either way, very cool experience. I think on the surface, it looks great. Great personality as well. If the founder likes her, she's also looking for probably about 150, maybe closer to 180 to 200 if she has to move to New York, but it could also be very, very lucrative in terms of a first deal. So maybe this could be a one and done, but hopefully we have a couple more to talk to this week, and hopefully he likes one, if not all of them. So chemical engineering, check. Time to switch gears and focus on product, digital marketing, engineering for the rest of the day. All right, just finished the client call where I had a chance to sit directly with the founder, and boy, was I glad I did that, because what he's looking for and what I thought they were looking for after my chat with the recruiter is completely different. We thought we wanted something junior and B2B SaaS, business to business SaaS experience only. But from this conversation, he's looking for someone more mid to senior level. And he's also open to talking to folks with a B2C kind of business to consumer facing background. And even folks that are working and have a proven track record of working on products that are different from what they're doing, but they have to show that they've come out of a very prestigious company or school and degree. That seems to be the resounding theme I keep hearing from this founder. It's great that he knows what he's looking for, but it's also very difficult for us recruiters and just hiring, because everyone's going after Facebook talent, everyone's going after people coming out of Netflix and Google, and he expects his pipeline to be full. And just as I spoke about in my previous video, not all of these people who are in stable, cushy, jobs want to leave that for something that's smaller or riskier. So it's going to be tough. We're still going to do our best to reach out to folks in tier 1 companies, tier 1 schools, but then the responses are not going to be as strong. He's open to talking to folks coming out of tier B, tier C schools, and even companies, but he's just going to be really, really picky. So the good news is I have a better understanding of what he's looking for, which is like cachet, prestige, working on impressive projects is very important for him. But the downside of that, it's not very targeted. I still have to go after just the companies and the schools. And even if they're working on something completely irrelevant, he would still talk to them only because they came out of these companies. I would rather come out of that call saying, hey, I really love consumer-facing companies, 5-7 years of experience, only working on ecosystem community applications. And if they have a master's, that would be a plus. As targeted and more specific information I can get, the more I know and I can create the ideal profile in my mind and for my team, and the better we can do it. But now it's gonna really have to be about compiling and identifying folks coming out of all these great name, well-recognizable brands, and just reaching out to them, making our outreach personalized, and talking up our client as much as possible so that we can generate the best responses for him. But I'm not expecting great responses just because people coming out of the FAANG companies, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google, Microsoft even, they're getting hit up all the time with recruiters. Because of that, the responses are very low, and because of that, they're extremely picky. So the company that we're working with out of California, yes, they are working on exciting projects and exciting products and platforms, but like they're more on the B2B SaaS side. And so even reaching out to more B2C candidates and trying to pitch them the B2B company, that's going to also be another layer of obstacles because most people in the B2B background want to stay in B2B. Most people in B2C want to stay in B2C. Some obviously are open and done a bit of both. We're going to still make this a priority and do the best that we can. It's not going to be easy, but always up for a challenge.
Never gets old.
Happy Wednesday morning. Again, just had a great workout. I think it's honestly the best way to start the day. It's the hardest thing you're ever gonna do that day. So you get it out of the way, take a shower, drink your coffee or tea. You're just gonna feel absolutely incredible. I think I have about 6 interviews happening today. Re-engaging with another personal finance startup who's looking for a program, and product analysts and product managers and maybe even a product designer. Got a couple of exciting offers that are still pending, no update yet, but it's middle of the week, resetting at the gym every morning, feeling great. See you in a bit.
I had a wonderful candid chat with a marketing professional. I think she's gonna be fantastic, gonna submit it to my personal finance client and just interfaced again with one of my favorite clients, a personal finance startup that's super successful, and they're hiring product analysts, product managers, ideally, with iBanking background would be ideal, as well as a product designer, junior and mid-level. So super excited about helping them attack these 3 roles on top of the lead product manager that we're working on. And it's gonna add to, again, just to our open positions that we just have more ammo to share with candidates that we engage with, giving them more options to choose from. In terms of later today, we still have 6 interviews. Hopefully they go really, really well. I have about almost 10 candidate calls still to do. And when I say candidate calls, these are candidates that we reached out to and we scheduled a first round engagement call between me, myself, or my team members with them. And the whole purpose of this call is for us to deep dive and really understand and get to know the candidates better. Like, what are they like? What's their background? What are they working on? Their current jobs? What have they worked on in their previous jobs? Why are they looking to leave? Really collecting and starting to collect all this information about them to better understand, what they're bringing to the table, what their motivations are to be kind of back in the market, and what positions we have that could be a good fit for them. After we collect the data, we would then pitch them any of our roles that we think would be a fantastic fit. And upon confirmation and interest, we would submit them to a client or clients that they're excited to chat with. And then we start working with them through the entire interview process to make sure their experience is great. For the remainder of the day, I'm gonna be focused on sourcing, gonna hit this iBanking product manager roles, product designer roles, and go back to digital marketing and software engineers. So it's gonna be a jam-packed day and we'll see what happens. So in case you're curious, when I pick up new roles from a client, typically, like the order of steps that we like to follow is number 1, go through our existing database. Over the years, we have amassed a database of a large number of professionals within our expertise, within the buckets that we like to work in, and try to filter and see if any of the candidates we have already, that we already have a relationship with, would be excited for our jobs. If we find any, we will reach out to them, repitch them, and then submit them, and then work with them through the process if they're excited. Aside from that, then we will come up with targeted campaigns and searches, really crafting the ideal companies, the backgrounds, the skill sets, the tools to target. We will utilize a lot of different resources from job boards like Indeed, Monster, all the way to more specific websites like Horfot, Behance for designers, GitHub for software engineers, and even LinkedIn for a lot of the professionals in our market. When it comes to sourcing, a couple tips that I want to share with you is when you reach out to candidates, you want to make sure that you can craft it in a way to get responses. My first tip is make sure it's relevant. Honestly, this sounds very common sense, but I can't tell you how many recruiters reach out to me pitching me a role that's completely different than my background. I've had people pitching me electrical engineering positions, marketing positions, even finance positions. If they take a 1-second gander at my background, they would know I'm in recruiting and I'd most likely be interested in recruiting positions if I was on the market. This happens all the time, and I just want to make it clear, if you're just going to blast and not even look and align your outreach to the person's resume or background, they're not going to respond to you. So make sure it's relevant. If you have a marketing position, reach out to marketing professionals. Number two, make sure it makes sense for them in their career. Or let's say that you have a senior level designer position. When you have a senior level designer position, why would you reach out to a director? Why would you reach out to managers of design for that position? Most likely, people want to move forward in their career, not backwards. Some would be open to a lateral move if the job was compelling and everything else made sense, like the growth, the impact opportunities, and their salary. If you're hiring or recruiting for a senior designer, make sure you're going after current senior designers that maybe are open to a lateral move, or maybe they are unhappy with the growth. They're willing to hop on board to yours only because it has a lot of growth opportunities, so it makes sense for them. Or maybe even reach out to people that are one level a little bit less experienced, really great mid-level. This may be someone between mid to senior that's looking for that next step in their career and something that would make sense. So make sure when you're sourcing, the positions are relevant to the candidates you're reaching out to, and it just have to make sense. And number three, when you're reaching out to candidates, make sure you highlight details that would actually be interesting. Like share more information about the company you're representing. Talk about the exciting funding amount, the space that they're in, the products that they're doing. If they're backed by amazing investors, highlight that. But your job is to basically sell the opportunities to candidates. And if you don't make it sound exciting and connected to their background, you're not going to get really good responses. So make sure it's relevant to their background, make sure it's relevant to the trajectory of their career. And most importantly, you want to highlight certain aspects of the position, whether they have a lot of impact opportunities, a lot of growth, maybe they can manage a team or a couple people from the get-go, maybe they just offer ridiculous salaries. Whatever you can do, try to include that as a little teaser for this position. And if you talk to them, if they respond to you, that would be the opportunity to fully sell them an opportunity to get them really excited. Again, a lot of it sounds simple and a lot of it sounds like it's common sense, but I'm just surprised over and over again how many talent acquisition professionals and recruiting professionals don't follow these three main things. Hope it helps. Now back to work and sourcing the rest of the day. I just wanted to connect with you. Everything seems like it's going really, really well. How are you enjoying speaking with the team?
Yeah, I mean, especially yesterday's conversation with Sachin, I think it went really well. So yeah, I'm definitely still, interested in getting to know everyone and this opportunity. I feel like he was really confident in, how the company is growing and kind of like seeing how he wants to expand as like, a designer himself.
I was able to hear back from the team very briefly, but everything is resoundingly positive. Like everyone that spoke with you is super impressed by you and they're excited about the idea of potentially even working with you. So you've done a great job. It's positive across the board. So definitely keep that up. I just had an amazing process call with one of my candidates who's going one step closer to the final with my e-commerce client. If you remember from last week, or I think 2 weeks ago, we had 2 potential offers from this client and they ended up hiring my marketing candidate, but rejecting my design candidate. And then because of that, 48 hours later, we submitted another candidate and they want to talk to her and she's breezing through every single round, really impressing people, which is obviously great news. I had a process call with her today. It's a great way to check up on them, to see how other interviews are going, to address any concerns, further sell them on the opportunity that really they're excited about. And the biggest takeaway here is that she loves the team. She's really impressed with the trajectory of the business. The most, I think, great news for me is that she's not interviewing anywhere else, which is absolutely fantastic, so that if we can get to the offer, we'll obviously fight for the most competitive package, and then we don't have to worry for any outbidding or competitive offers, which is obviously great. Makes it less stressful for the candidate so they can just focus on one offer at a time. And if they really like our client, then we can obviously do what we can to help close that process. So everything is going well. I think she still has 1 to 3 more rounds, but right now it's smooth sailing. She is asking for a little bit of a higher salary compared to her years of experience, but it's not a deal breaker for the company. And it's still within market in the design market here in the technology industry. So overall, positive chat, happy for her. We're gonna keep working with her to push, and let's just really, really excited to do what we can to get her across the finish line. Well, I'm super proud of you, man, and very, very happy. It's been an absolute pleasure to have met you and helped you along this, just get you across the finish line. And you just done a great job yourself, and the team.
They made it really easy for me to just say yes. this, you know?
Yeah, I saw the number that you sent. I mean, that's amazing. And that's only the salary. I mean, that's not even including everything else. So, oh my freaking God. I got a crazy email when I was out running an errand, and I had to come back and talk to this candidate and share with you all what happened. So as you know, we also had a software engineer very late in stages with this healthcare company in New York, and he was just killing it. The team, the feedback has been resoundingly positive because they were also a bigger company. This process takes a little bit longer than smaller startups. It came to a point where he did his reverse interview yesterday, where he had a chance to interview select members of the team, and that went fantastically well, to the point where they gave him an offer today, one where it was just too good to be true. He just couldn't say no to it. And I think honestly, that is the best thing to do. If you find someone and you're really pumped about them and you really want to hire them, don't lowball them. That's one way to lose them, especially in this market. Offer them something that's fair, that is equivalent and respectable to their skills and talent. That's exactly what they did, and then some. And so he's over the moon, super happy. I'm pumped. There's no better way to learn about an offer when you're out and about doing an errand. This is the second deal that we've done with this company, further solidifying our relationship with them long-term, which I'm ecstatic about. But all in all, this has been such a wonderful experience working with this candidate, very responsive, willing to even chat with me late in the evening, which is amazing, as well as obviously working with this company. That is just a pleasure to work with. The coolest thing about this is this candidate was referred to us from one of our recruiting partners behind the scenes. We partner with other solo recruiters, independent recruiters, boutique agencies globally, and this person was introduced to us, and then once he was submitted, we took over that relationship, and it's just been such a pleasure. The only regret I have is I wasn't working with him from the get-go, because he's just super awesome. There were moments where I just wasn't sure what he was going to decide. He was interviewing and ended up at the final stages with multiple tier 1 tech companies, and it was going to be a hard time choosing, and it honestly, the cards were just on our client's side. They were able to move faster. They came out with a strong offer, and all these other companies he took too slow. In this market, you can't take your time hiring. If you will, another company is going to swoop in with a better offer and take them right in front of you. And that's exactly what happened. And even though he had an interest in these other companies, he couldn't pass up this company. They're mission driven, amazing benefits, amazing bonus, amazing growth, ability to work on an amazing team, amazing. The salary was $165,000, so it's gonna be a fantastic commission for the team. And yeah, just kudos to everybody. But my point is, because he was introduced by a recruiting partner, I'm happy to split the commission with her. She did the job to outreach and engage this candidate, and then we obviously helped the second half, making sure he has a smooth experience all around. So all in all, huge win. If you're a recruiter, if you're working on the agent side for yourself, or even internal recruiter who wants to recruit or source part-time, definitely reach out to us. There's so many ways to work with us, either join us on the team or even working with us doing commission or splits or partnerships behind the scenes. So really pumped. Love it that it was an engineer, always the hardest position to do. And now, gotta take it easy for us tonight and celebrate. All right, so there's no better way to celebrate a deal than cooking hamburgers at home. So this is the first time that we cooked burgers on an open skillet and nearly filled our entire apartment with smoke. So they came out pretty good. We got some whole wheat buns, some goat cheese, and we got some beef patties that we smashed it. Looks pretty good. We also made a plate full of oven-baked fries that we got at Whole Foods. They came out a little dry, unfortunately, but I think a little salt and a little pepper should do the trick. I'm just honestly hoping that these come out okay and they're not like super rare or too overcooked. But first bite, celebrating another offer on a Wednesday evening. Not rare. No, it's actually pretty juicy. That is not too shabby. This is as simple of a burger as you can do at home. Bun, meat, and cheese. No pickles, no lettuce, nothing. It's actually pretty good. We cooked it super fast, and you can already see there's not a single glimmer of pink in here. I'm gonna eat this, take it easy for the rest of the night. See you again tomorrow. All right, just wanted to come in and give you a quick update on how the week is going. It's right now Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Today was just a very straightforward, simple day. Just kept my heads down, most of it focusing on sourcing and reaching out to program managers, program directors, and digital marketing talent. I'm also worried about the pipeline for a director of people for an innovation company. So I'm probably gonna hit on that a little bit tomorrow before the weekend and then carry on next week. I also wanna hit software engineers again. We're getting a lot of great responses, but because we've gotten a huge spike of new positions, I spent most of this week focusing on non-engineering roles, trying to get through them as fast as possible. And as the responses are coming in, I'm gonna allocate my time now and hit engineers again, because I have too many companies that need help to hire engineers, and we wanna do our best to get them. We also had 3 interviews today, which is relatively light. 2 of them were actually with chemical engineers. Again, positions we've never done before, but just wanted to allocate a little bit of our week for this client because they are amazing and they were referred to one of our favorite clients working for years. 2 of the 3 interviews today were chemical engineers, and just heard back from the founders that the feedback has been positive, which is absolutely amazing, which means they're moving to a round 2. I don't know if he likes one better than the other or he likes both of them, but I'm just really, really happy and ecstatic that both of our chemical engineering candidates are moving forward. Our third is a product designer interview that went also really, really well. If you've been watching, you would know that this is the second candidate we submitting to our e-commerce client that we did a deal with a marketing candidate last week. Hopefully, if she moves forward here, I just need to get the official confirmation, but I'm feeling good about it. I think we can be looking at either a case study or maybe even a final round. I'm really excited about her because not only does she love the company, but she's not interviewing with anyone else, which means if we get to the offer stage, we don't have to worry about any bidding wars, any competing offers, which is always great, which can definitely make it a lot easier when it comes to ensuring a smooth and efficient closing process. So other than that, I definitely want to focus more on software engineering, director of people. Our pipeline is slowing down a little bit there. Focused most of the week on our non-engineering roles to really get those pipelines strong and vibrant. And then coming into next week, I'm gonna hit engineers hard again to keep that going. The life cycle of responses is longer and slower for engineers. So I like to keep hitting those every single week as I can. So as the responses are coming, I can hit on faster positions that have a faster response cycle like design, marketing, product. All in all the pipelines are looking great. Chemical engineers are now moving forward. Our program management, the program director pipelines are now progressing, where I'm feeling pretty good about the pipelines for both Michigan and New York roles, which is fantastic. That was my priority this week. And now looking tomorrow, we have a lot of calls. We have about 9 different candidate calls, which I love packing my Fridays. Just makes the weekend feel so much better as you're coming in strong. I have 1 interview tomorrow. It's with a program director in Michigan. The first time I sourced in Michigan was actually last year when we found and placed a program manager. Now we're looking for a program director who in the same market, who's gonna manage the person that we placed last year. So I'm already familiar with the market, the companies there, and the talent. So I hope that goes well. And coming to next week, we're setting up a lot of good interviews. But all in all, just want to say that the week is going on track. Just gonna take it easy now, cook up some great food, relax the rest of the night, and you know how it is. Start Friday off with a bang, be consistent, and come into the weekend and next week with momentum, which I love. So hope everyone's having a good day and a good week, and we'll see you tomorrow. Happy Friday morning. Feeling great, but do you know why I love today? As you've been watching, you know that Friday is the best way to separate yourself from other people by just doing something different. You know what that is? Work hard and stay consistent, and most importantly, finish strong. Friday's typically the day of the week where people start slowing down, taking the foot off the gas, looking forward to the weekend. But if you're in an industry like me or a job like me, you know that if you can just make that extra effort, make that extra call, make that extra email, whatever you have to do it today. Don't procrastinate till Monday, because if you can do that when everyone else is starting to slow down and slack off a little bit, you'll be able to come in with an edge on Monday, making sure that you're setting yourself up and getting a little bit ahead of everyone else who's slowing down and just focused on what their Friday night plans are and what they're doing for the next 2 days. So with me today is packed. I have 14 candidate calls that span everything from design, marketing, all the way to chemical engineers. No updates yet with our CMO, Chief Marketing Officer potential degree. She is in direct communications with the founder of our client, and it seems like it's going well, but because it's such a high level position, she is really doing her due diligence, taking her time, and making sure she asks all the questions that are important for her to hopefully allow her to make a decision she's super comfortable with. But either way, it's about 12 o'clock noon on a Friday. Just finished about 6 calls today, got a more 7, 8 more calls a little bit later today with 1 more interview. And so gonna do what I can and just try to do maybe 1 or 2 sourcing passes as well. My calls go straight to 4 p.m. And after that, I can slowly start to kind of take it easy a little bit and get ready for the weekend. But if you can make the effort all week and you make that extra effort on Friday, I promise you, your weekend will feel that much better and you'll feel that much more accomplished. So gonna get back at calls right now and we'll see you in a bit. All right, been focused for a couple hours, literally had no time for lunch, but good thing I had a nice little snack here. So this is Catalina Crunch keto-friendly cereal. I'm not keto, but I love cereal, and I just stopped eating cereal my whole life because they're just full of crap and all the sugar and processed stuff. But then what I noticed, especially recently to our trips to grocery stores and Whole Foods, is that there is a lot of incoming brand new cereal brands that are using much better natural healthy ingredients. And so for the past couple weeks, I've just been slowly trying out all the different ones so far. This is a new one. I got the keto-friendly fruity cereal. Apparently this has 0 sugar, gluten grain-free, 5 plants protein, fibers designed, sweet blend. Overall, it should be pretty good. Let's try this out. Pretty crunchy, but the flavor isn't that there. But anyway, I just love finding healthy alternatives. I love direct consumer space. I love direct consumer e-commerce retail brands. And the idea that I could potentially start eating cereal again, but in a healthier way that's beneficial to my body so I don't crash in midday, and that would allow me to continue being at peak performance throughout the week and throughout the day is super, super important for me. It's really important to be efficient with my time, and most importantly, to help with that, eat the right foods so I don't go into a food coma, my head doesn't get cloudy, and I slow down. So eating the right food is still really, really important for me. Skipping lunch is not advisable, but it's one of those days where I just want to make the most of it and just power through. And yeah, just gonna be nibbling on this a little bit, and then I'm gonna have a giant dinner that we look forward to. So far, the day is going really, really well. Talked to a lot of good candidates. Some were a little bit too expensive for my roles. Others are a perfect fit, though, so we immediately went ahead and submit them. And so looking good for next week, setting up interviews with more program managers, more program directors, software engineers, and marketing people. Got a good handful more calls today. Interview yet has not happened, and fingers crossed. All right, that wraps up yet again another jam-packed week. Hope you enjoyed watching this video on what I just do in a transparent way every single day as a recruiter in my own recruiting agency. This week, I was happy to say that we ended it off with a freaking offer. As you saw, we had one engineer accept an offer that was just too good to be true. He was looking for 120, 130 as a base, and then he ended up getting an amazing salary for $165,000. Base salary, not even talking about the bonus, RSUs, and future growth that he's gonna be doing. So I'm super pumped and can't wait to see what he's going to do. His salary is $165,000. We have a 20% commission fee, which brings our commission take home to about $33,000. But what also made this really exciting is we did not find or source this candidate. This was brought in by one of our recruiting partners. So happy to split this commission with her 50-50, bringing our final total commission to $16,500, which still makes it a good week's work. In terms of looking back at this week, I think what I'm most really happy and proud of is we're able to successfully pack pipelines for a brand new chemical thermal propulsion engineer. This honestly was a wild card for us because we never did this before, but just doing this as a favor and doing the best that we can for our clients and for the referral of this amazing clean tech client that we're working with. Surprisingly, we were able to get a good number of responses. Already had 2 interviews this week that went really, really well. Setting up another 3 to 4 interviews with 3 to 4 new engineers next week. So things are looking good. I'm gonna do my best now to keep the interview process short, drive interest and excitement. Hopefully we can get someone to the end and pop an offer. That would be absolutely amazing. We also did a really good job in packing pipelines for program manager and program director roles. We're also working a program manager and director role in New York City. Doesn't matter if you're in Newark or Michigan or Colorado or Texas, we will do our targeting the same way. And happy to say that we have pipelines for all 4 positions starting from this week moving onward. So things are looking really, really good. And coming into next week, I'll be watching very closely on how that goes. We were also able to pack the pipeline for engineering managers and engineering directors. Also very, very difficult positions, but because they're senior level and the salary is high, our commission could be quite lucrative and fantastic there. We also had one great interview with a mobile engineer. And as you know, software engineers or really engineers are tough, but in the tech industry specific, software engineering is very, very competitive, specifically mobile engineering. We had an initial phone call with a mobile engineer with an e-commerce client, and has gone really, really well. And this is great because we've been working this position for super long, and there is scheduled a second round with the founder and a couple others next week, fingers crossed. And then all around, just really, really good sourcing efforts, targeted, bringing in really good product managers, product designers, and even just digital marketing. In terms of the outlook for next week, really excited to pick up a brand new firmware and hardware company with a small, fast-growing startup actually out of Boston. So going to be talking to the team tomorrow to pick that up and see how that can go. We're also going to be checking in and following our product designer that's slowly inching forward with our e-commerce client. Some concerns from the company that she is looking for something a little bit on the higher end for base, but they really, really like her in terms of skill set, personality, and culture. So we're just gonna see what we're gonna do and do our best to try to get this thing happen. The designer is also equally excited about this role. So far, everything looks good. We're also gonna surprisingly check up with this outstanding CMO, Chief Marketing Officer. I would have assumed by now we would have heard one way or another. I'm not really thinking it's too much of a good news. I think it should have been shut down and she should accept it by now. I know that because this position is super senior, she's really taking her time and her due diligence, talking to the founders, asking her questions and talking to other members of the team, which is totally understandable. But the founder also was pretty confident he was going to get an answer either way this week. So again, if you've been following this, it's a toss-up. I think it's 50-50 at this point. If this happens, I mean, I would love for it to happen. It would be my biggest commission deal in my history of recruiting. If it doesn't happen, it would still be sad, and we will do our best to find the replacement. But yeah, well, we'll see what happens here, and still having a difficulty getting in touch with our candidate. So I hope everything's going okay and hoping to bring some good news next week. So overall, really, really, really happy what we did. But I want to ask you, if you made it this far, thank you for watching to the end of the video. But I want to ask you whether you're recruiting or not, or we're just excited about following our journey. What is one thing you did this week that you're proud of, or what is one thing that you're going to work on or improve for next week? I think it's a great opportunity for us to share with you how our week went. We'd love to just hear back from you as well. So if you have any thoughts, any ideas, comment down below. Other than that, please let me know if you really enjoyed watching these videos. We have a lot of fun making them, and all intents and purposes, it's just really just show you what we do every week as a recruiter. It's not sexy, we're not traveling, it's just really staying here at my desk, talking to amazing candidates, talking to amazing clients, and really staying on top of the negotiations in fast-paced environments. And of course, when an offer happens, it is the best feeling in the world. But if an offer doesn't happen, you take the punches. It's like what you go through at work, running any business or working for yourself. It's not all highs, it's not all lows, it goes up and down, and just here to show you the journey and take you along for the ride. Again, don't forget, we have an amazing referral program. So now you can click on the description box below and see real time of the active positions of recruiting. If you're excited, apply. Or if you know someone who might be excited, don't forget, have them reach out and apply directly, because we have an insane referral program. Pay up to $10,000 for the introduction for the right person across recruiting, finance, ops, marketing, design, software engineering, HR, recruiting, etc. So please reach out to us. We're also always looking for great recruiting partners, boutique agencies to partner and work with. So if you're in recruiting and you're experienced, you have a great track record, and you know your market really well, don't forget to reach out. I love reaching out and interacting with other talent professionals or talent acquisition professionals. We all do the same thing at the end of the day, and we'd love to always meet other people doing great work locally, nationally, or even globally. This is it, and I'm really, really happy to bring this week home with you guys with an offer. Happy to share it with one of our recruiting partners, and I'm just feeling exhausted but feeling energetic for having a great weekend, recharging, pre-planning for the following week. We have a lot to do next week. We have a lot to do. One more week to finish September off really well. And then looking forward to the last 3 months of 2021. Almost less than 90 days left for the rest of the year. Stay focused, stay healthy, and let's make it a great finish. So thank you again for watching. Really appreciate it. Feel free to follow me on TikTok or Instagram, Preston_Park. I try my best to post daily, and feel free to reach out to me then. But that's it. Voice is getting raw. Time for me to relax and disconnect. And I really appreciate for you following. Hope you had a great week. Hope you had a great Friday. And we'll see you on the next week.